Welcome to Sri and Kira Live. As our world spins seemingly out of control, we are all experiencing time speeding up, chaos shifting to a new level, and a yearning to know the greater mysteries of the universe. What does it all mean? Visionary spiritual teachers and best-selling authors Sri Ram Ka and Kira Ra explore these mysteries, offer live soul readings, and invite you to open up your mind, body, and spirit to the paradigms that are shifting. Bringing you fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom, here are Sri and Kira.
Namaste and welcome to Sri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and welcome to the March. This, guys, it's alchemy, it's amplification, it's awareness, and it is a big show. Today's show is so big, we're actually segmentizing it so that as you go through the month, you can keep coming back to specific segments. And we're even going to pull out those segments and get them back up at YouTube as segments because there is so much happening. So first and foremost, let's get you jumped into those call boards. Let's get you going because this is a massive show today.
Absolutely. Now remember, you can call in and join the conversation, ask your questions, etc. Toll free, 888-627-6008. That's 888-627-6008.
There it is.
When you ring, just ask our producer, share what your intentions are, and they'll text us, and we'll get you in the queue.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, at Oneness Talk Radio, you can call 517-208-1500. That's 517-208-1500.
Indeed. And thank you for getting in the queue. That way we can say hello to you. Now, today is a massive moment because this amplification energy started coming in right around the full moon. And it is just so extraordinary that before we go any further, I do just want to begin with the February Ascended Numerology for one last time. So, Sri, can we put that up? This
Absolutely.
is the February Ascended Numerology. One last time. There it is, because look at the bottom of the page here. The full moon balance energy that came in yesterday has brought us all up into our lotus chakra. We are currently all in this incredible moment where we have this opportunity where we have taken our vision up into the lotus. And in this lotus energy right now, I'm actually going to stand up. Sri and I framed the camera so we can show you. So remember that in that full moon, you came into your lotus, right? I'm going to try and move my chair so it doesn't influence. There we are. Okay. This energy field. Now, Sri, I'm going to ask you to you're right in the middle of the cross. Come out with me.
Yep, I'm
there
coming.
we go. Come on over here. Come over this side. No, come over this side. Okay, there we are. So right here, you see the cross? So that is right here. You see this ignition? So we have this beautiful, whoa. Oh, Shri's chair is doing it. Here we go. So we have this beautiful cross ignition that's happening right here. That is the shield. That's this. Okay, so you see this beautiful 4 that's going on here. So imagine that has now started spinning.
Ooh, there you
go. Right.
Yeah,
so we are in the middle of this March experience where in this moment, that is spinning right now. That whole cross energy is spinning, and you see the eye? So what's happened is that we have arrived in that 2021 cycle flow at that moment where literally it's right now, and it's going to implode this week. The January-February infinite energy has ignited the first eye, which is what brought in that very first ensoulment, the full harmonic illumination of the shield of Zodkiel. Yes. And so we wanted to open up with you really being able to feel that. And Sri, let's put up for them next the other thing we want to make sure that you're really feeling, the concentric dimensionality. So let's put up the 2021 concentric energy, because this is where we're at right now. The shield of Zodkiel has hit its first, has hit its first rotation. And yeah, I'm going to have you come back over here again. All right, we didn't practice this part before. We apologize. And so here's what's important to notice, and maybe I need to even get all the way out here. I'm going to scrunch all the way against the wall. Not going to help. Okay, so maybe, you know what? This might not work, Sri. Come on out of the studio. Forgive me, guys.
Yeah.
But we really want you to have this big and in real time. So I'm going to jump out too so you can see it. right here, you see where my finger is? That is January. Follow that. You see how that went in? Look. And then what happened was it crossed over onto Shree's chair and went into February. You see that? So we're going all the way around, all the way over here. See that? Coming in around, and this is what I was just showing you.
That's where we are.
This is where we are right now as we're getting ready to start coming out again into our second loop of the year, which is March. So it was worth our gyrations, I think, to be able to share that with all of you. And this is why we're sharing it kind of in real time here. And I'm just going to back away 1 second. You see right here, you see these harmonics right there? Those 3 harmonics, this is what the months of February, March, and April, February, March, and April are preparing us for. Because the very first harmonic is going to open in May. And it's going to be that pulse wave. So when April culminates, and the same moment that we are in right now is when we go from April to May, is when all of this energy of February, March, and April will be, I don't want to use the word tested, but it will be sustained so that we are ready. And you can see that we're going to have these 3 waves that are going to hit us, really come in. And they're going to be big. And the key is that is this moment right now. So Shree, let's go back to the first background.
Well, before we do, I just want to mention, when you're writing these cycles, you're cycling out into a month. It's almost as if you're at a ride at the carnival, because you're in the flow of the month. And as we come back to the center point, I've been feeling it today very much. It's like I'm in that space where I'm not fully released from what was, and I'm not fully engaged with what is to be. There is a moment of transition where we take a breath and relax into the next flow.
Well, this is, I love that you're sharing that, and I really want to expand on that, because this is really important, and this is why this is so important. And for those of you that are following us on the Worldwide Shield Project, this is going up later today. This will be the next one we're posting on that page. So you want to keep coming back. You want to keep downloading the shields as they're morphing, because this shield right now is the shield of this week. It is the opened eye that is seeing beyond. It is that alchemical process that comes through conscious awareness. And here's what's so amazing. Right now, in this moment, as we are crossing the barrier from February into March, and remember, February has been what? It has been the month of choice. And this past week, especially as we hit the full moon, especially as we went into yesterday, has been all about, do you have what it takes to really sustain the journey of the choice you're consciously making? And what that means is, where is your steadfast commitment, your focused awareness, and your complete trust? Because it's being invited to be seen. What you're seeing right now are your own limits. You are seeing everything at its borderland, because we are all at the borderlands. That's why the eye opened. And with the opening of the eye, do you see how the inner circle of pulse waves, all the harmonic frequencies that are coming? And then around here, these are the eyes. You see that? That's the cosmic Isis. These are all the illuminated points of that energy. And then you see that all of this Ave Sa. And yesterday, we offered a beautiful blessing of distance healing with Ave Sa. We were very, very blessed to call forward our first group in a very long time. And miracles, 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 I think just because that energy was put back out into the planet.
Well, I know it was a profound energy moment for all of us that were participating.
In every way.
And never doubt that everything you do and everything that you are is part of the greater fabric and influences the greater fabric.
Oh, it does.
So stay loving.
And this is so valuable, because in this moment, regardless of what you're thinking, regardless of what happens, and I do want to share that, I want to give a bow to all of you that are really following and working with the Shield Project. Thank you so much. We are so excited. And please go to ShreeAndKira.com. Right there on the homepage, learn about the Shield Project and all of the temples and people around the world. And I was on with Thailand with Ken, many of you know, who's really shepherding this program. And So much happening right now because of this beautiful worldwide effort with the shield, that when Ken and I were together having this conversation, what I was able to consciously call forward while Ken and I were together was the diamond ray opening in the middle of the shield. And so that energy is there. That consciousness is there. We have arrived at that moment. So I want you to breathe that in, because where it brings us is to the moment that we are a breath away from. And for some of you, if you're tuning in from around the world, you're a lot closer than we are. We are always the bridge, are we not? We are always here together, bridging this beautiful planet. And so as we all come together right now, and I'm feeling you all here, notice what you're noticing. Notice what you're noticing, and notice what you're noticing in your vision. Because in this moment of the ignited, this is that point. And we've been talking about this all year. And this is why the February, March, April became such an important like fabric in this, is because this is that first intersection of infinite presence that is holding open this 0 point energy, which means March as a month of awareness is amplified and pushing open all the limits. It's going to push you, so you can fly and say, all right, let's do this. Or it's going to feel like it's pushing you, and you might have to retreat backward because it's just too big a borderland to cross right now. That's okay. What's not okay is being stuck in the middle. Yeah.
Being stuck in the middle is neither here nor there. And I mean that with a smile.
No, it's true.
That when we do not make a commitment with our consciousness to follow through on that which we've set in motion, we are in an unwind kind of situation.
Yeah.
You know, the choice month that we're just closing out
right now
will be more fully revealed in the awareness month that is upon us.
Yeah.
And as we go with the impact, so to speak, of the choices that were made, the bigger choices, because awareness, experience, and choice is the cycle of ascending consciousness.
Exactly.
And awareness, experience, and choice happen daily. However, there's a bigger cycle that's going through monthly. And so be with this month and notice the impact of the choices that you've made, and you can then work with that to continue forward.
Exactly. And so here we are at this great moment of conscious choice, when everything around us is amplified, when the alchemical processes of the illuminated mastery within are igniting in a way they have not ever ignited before. And here we step into the March up-level experience. So bring a hand to your heart, knowing that right now we're carrying the ascended numerological energy right up here in our lotus. All of this beautiful vision that we were carrying is up here saying, look, if you're ready, we're ready. Let's do this. And here comes March. So let's go ahead and look at the March calendar. Here it is. And if you have the up-level calendar, you've already have one for yourself, then you have this at home. But the first thing I always encourage us every month is relax your eyes through the numbers, relax your eyes through the days, relax your eyes through the lines, and notice the graphic. And start noticing what you're noticing, This is a month that is intense. This is a month that carries great amplification energy. This is a month where the you that is the you that is the you is all awake. And if you're gazing, I want you to gaze right up there, actually in the header where it says Wednesday, and you see what's happening there. That is a star consciousness ignition. You see the star lifting there? Then look right below that, framing the 3rd and the 10th. You see that solid circle there? That is the portal of star consciousness. And then you see the circle there? That is the portal of intercept of you with your 3rd eye. And you look through the 9th and the 11th, and you can see that expansion. And if you look right up above there at the 2 and the 3, you see another set of eyes. This is you remembering you. And you'll notice there's almost a congestion this month that begins on the 12th and ends on the 20th with the equinox, and then illuminates. It's like it's hanging in the air through the 28th of March, when we will begin the cycle of the resurrection that will carry us through till the end of April. And so at the very top, you'll notice for the first time ever in this calendar, the March 2021 equinox opens an active ascension window through the equinox of March 2022. So this equinox is one of the single most important in the up level. How we greet this equinox will literally hold open the portal, but it's a multidimensional portal. It anchors this month, and it is the active presence of that energy this year, meaning between March this year and March next year. That active presence is being amplified, and it will be sealed at the September 2021. So what we are opening up in March is like a rainbow bridge to September that, as that anchors, determines all the way through March 2022. This is a moment of great illumination. It is a moment where the universe is calling out and inviting us. The one thing that happens on March 12th that is so important is that we then are fully complete with that Mercury retrograde that opened at the end of January and affected March. Remember, we have been in a unique pattern of energy that we have never experienced before, because our consciousness has gone to a point it has never gone before. The other notable thing about March is when you come to the 20th, when you look at the equinox peak up level on March 20th, this is a peak up level date. This is not just an up level. This is one of the most important dates for this entire year. And this date literally has with it, the only way I want to give it is a hinge. And so if we were to go through the March calendar week by week, because this is important to understand, we are coming in the energy, that's why you see up there on that Wednesday, we are coming in the energy of our illuminated 8th chakra. That's what's calling, and that's where we're at right now. And then tomorrow, we're going to dive right back in to another state of consciousness, which we're going to talk about in a moment. And this entire week is about stabilizing your higher vision. You see those two eyes there bridging this week on either side? This week is about really saying yes to the conscious awareness of who you are as a master in form, with ways that you have never noticed before. Notice yourself noticing. Let your dreams manifest. Let it all come forward. But it needs a plan. It needs to be focused, and it needs to be organized. And as long as you put your focus and your organization and all of your sincerity, love, and presence into this first week in March, when you get to the second week in March, March 7 through the 13th, miracles start coming together. We're pulling it from the consciousness expansion into the alchemical process of our divine presence. And on the 10th, that's going to really begin to anchor. And when Mercury post-phase ends on the 12th, it is going to flow us into that illuminated new moon, where it's like everything is being seen. Here's everywhere. It's like an explosion of illumination that very next month. Next week.
Yeah, the very next week.
The week of the equinox.
And there's a launch.
There is a launch.
There's an opportunity to accelerate that which you are and that which you shall be. You know, we are dancing with such amazing energies each and every month. And Kira Ra has brought forward this calendar is so exceptionally predictive and useful in understanding the ocean that we're navigating.
Yeah.
You know, oftentimes because the human consciousness says, I'm in a flotilla of boats.
Right.
And so I'm just looking at the boats and not the ocean.
So true.
But in reality, the waves are lifting us up and letting us settle, and the winds are blowing. And it's good to get the report ahead of time so that we can be in the greatest harmony with that which is and that which is about to be.
Well, and because of that, this is why that amplification is pushing the limits. As we illuminate into that week of the equinox, everything is being seen. Everything is being revealed. Remember that everything right now in that illuminated central section, that first beautiful concentric spiral. Let's put up the spiral time again. I really want you guys to see this one more time because it's so important right there. Yeah. So remember, you see the eye, and you had just seen it behind us as well. That January energy has now completely completed this circuit. And this circuit was the single most important, the energy we seal this with. And pay attention to everything that's going into that sealing today. Remember, it's the all. Look at what is happening on February 28th, 2021, worldwide. All of the energy that's happening today is sealing into this energy that is going into the rest of this concentric dimensional experience. And again, this is why March and April are so important, because they finish the second circuit. And as they do that, the balance, the conscious awakening is inviting all of us to get really clear. And that is the moment today, right now, at hand, whenever you would connect with this. What is the conscious choice? What is the direction of your life? The gift of saying yes, of remembering more, the gift of diving into the complete self-trust that is really needed to maintain your sanity in a world that is trying to take it away, is saying, remember who you are, and then say yes. And I want you to really breathe that in, because as simple as that sounds, that's really where the challenge comes in, isn't it? When we remember who we are, we often seek validation from others. And usually, as we begin to seek that validation, we discover the consciousness of those around us by the way they receive our expanded presence. So I want you to breathe that in.
You know, I have a chuckle as you share that, because what I'm remembering is my upbringing, where my mother and at times even my father would say, remember who you are, referring to the family name, the family identity. And that's a starting point. That's a starting point. That's where the ego says, oh yeah, I'm a Schwarzkopf or whatever I am. I'm a Jones, and we Joneses do it this way, And it's kind of funny, because what that does is it gives you a sense of moving through fear, but it's only empowering the ego identity. Whereas when we remember who we are remembering the soul that took birth, that had the experience of the Jones or the Schwarzkopf or whatever it was, and has evolved through that identity into the greater magnificence of a mastery energy. Because the master is the energy that took birth. The identity, the ego identity, is the personality that's navigating the lifetime. And you can do both. You can have your egoic identity and be the master at the same time. It's just a matter of which one is governing you.
This is what we have been sharing, and I'm smiling, Sri. I'm reminded of how in this energy of March right now, we are at a moment where your mastery alchemy is harmonizing. Yeah. So how that mastery alchemy harmonizes is really based upon the way that you are able to call it forward. Whether or not it's here is not for debate. It's here. Every being right now is working with the alchemical processes that they are conscious of, and also that they are not conscious of, because all of these alchemies are here. Again, the easiest way to describe this, and I bow again before all the beings that Sri and I have been blessed to be doing service with right now. And I'm thinking of yet another beautiful being I did a reading with a couple days ago. And we are so truly at a moment where those of you, even if you think you're just waking up or you're just discovering this, if you have found your way to Sri and Kira, you're expanding your consciousness. And you're ready to see a greater depth. You're ready to see things that you never could see before, but they've always been there. And so as that moment comes, as you open to that greater level of expansion, we say, thank you. We're glad you're here. Come on in, right? There's always room at the table when we arrive as a contributor. And that's the moment, is that we have each been called to arrive as the contributors that we are. to not come with our egos of why any one of us is better than the other. We are each masters, and we are each commanding that which we are here to do. Can we command the ultimate, which is come together at the table as the commanders we are, each of us with whatever armor we have called forward to be what brought us here, and we come together all as contributors? The level of consciousness that has let go of the ego, and where the benevolent queens, the benevolent kings, the ones that come forward with the energy of that divine compassion, where the life of service is the reason we are, yet it's balanced. You know, I really do want to share that in this mastery alchemy moment, in this harmonization moment, in this moment where we are all being called to come forward as contributors, it really does mean that playtime's over. Now, that doesn't mean we can't have fun, right? We believe me, Sri and I love to have fun all the time. However, what it does mean is that either really do the work you keep talking about, and maybe you sit and you expand your consciousness and philosophize about and talk about, well, guess what? That shit's real. And you can do this, but you've got to stop just talking about it and decide, all right, am I just going to be a sit on the couch philosophizer, or am I actually going to wait a minute, whoa, this is me. What if you are, we started talking about this last week, you are the mainstream. Stopping you from remembering who you are has been the greatest illusion of all. It has been the one where we have collectively self-anesthetized ourselves. Yeah. We are at the moment where all of this energy is happening, where the universe is saying, look, we are doing everything we can do, but you are going to have to meet us halfway. And that's in this right here where we are right now. It's in that lotus chakra. It's literally this exquisite moment where that first infinite spiral that's igniting that 0-point generation field is aligning everything. And so as you arise into the contributors table, that's when we arise through, and I'm wondering, do we have it here? And I know that Sri and I are always a broken record on this, guys, but we do have it, so I'm going to say it. All right, here it is. This is when we transform. Remember that within the density experience, the energy is all about the victim, the abuser, and the rescuer, and it is sophisticated, and it is very, very, very widespread, and it can hold on even in the early stages of fifth-dimensional transcendence. It's very sophisticated. It does not come to the table as any form of a contributor. It comes as a taker. Oftentimes, money is in the middle of it. When we transform that, when we invite ourselves to really stay in that field of compassion, that's when we arise as that teacher, that mentor, that healer. That's when we have expanded through and we step up as the generals we are as contributors. And that's what this March equinox is opening. That's going to be a bridge all the way for a year. That is going to need to have a ceiling in September to be able to hold what's going to be a very fascinating ride. Mm-hmm. And so this is a moment where this ignition is calling the all. And this is why, and really with a humble bow, the WWA Festival, the WWA Global Festival, if your heart has not called you to be a part of that yet, I really need you to ask yourself why. If you're feeling you need to have I've had people writing me going, I'm going to do my own thing on that day. Okay, great. But do it with us. Do your own thing, but connect with us. Let us bring you in. That's what this is about. And we are also, when we open, we are going worldwide. And so if you would like to be part of the grand opening of the WWA Global event, hint, you have to have already made sure that you were committed to the event and actually bought a ticket, which right now are still only $22. So, please let us know. Send an email. Let us know. We are linking this family. We are igniting this grid of illumination, because what's going to happen is we have this March equinox opening. We have all that's happening with the Kanyari, all that's happening with all the voices that are coming together. We are collectively coming together, not talking about sales or what you need to buy. This is not that kind of a festival. This is a festival where every single person that's speaking has come out of the generosity of their heart. This is a festival where when we are sharing, what we are sharing is how we are expanding our oneness together. Set up your picnic in your living room and join us. Be part of this festival. Let's do this together and help us spread the word. WWAGLOBAL.com. This is what's happening. It's this month.
This is indeed a very powerful invitation.
Yeah, it really is.
As Kira was sharing about your awareness and taking a seat at the table, it's important to remember that joy is the signal from your soul that you're lined up with where you need to be, with what is meant for you in that moment. Joy is that feedback, yes. And that playtime is, in the conventional way, playtime means I'm not going to take responsibility for my life. I'd rather be distracted, diverted, in denial. Playfulness can arise from the joy and can have a great fun anytime, lots of times.
Well,
there is a difference.
There is, and I want to share, we did that this morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
We went up to the Temple of Light this morning and really had that blessing of visioning. We're very, very excited that we're actually putting in restrooms up there. And due to my husband's amazing engineering, he's incredible. And the silent retreat cabin is going in as well. It will be there by the time we have the equinox. And so the whole park is illuminating as well. And that's the joyfulness, but it's the service in motion. It's the master calling forward the mastery presence into the joy of the creation through the alchemical process of conscious awareness. We are in a month right now of awareness.
And to be aware that you have the power to command the light. You can shift anything any momentum in your life, you can shift it. And that we are not victims, none of us.
Exactly.
Victimhood is a game that is played in density. Yeah. It's nothing more than a game, pretending like you have no power and someone else has to rescue you or somebody else caused this uncomfortable feeling. Nobody's causing anything. You are at cause. You are the master. And as we take responsibility, we hone the ability to demonstrate that to ourselves. It does take a little practice because the lens through which we've been looking, for most of us, is still a colored lens, colored by the beliefs of density. And yet here you are, this cosmic being of divine love, expressing through form in a world of limitation and polarity.
And that is not crazy. I mean, really, it's not. I have to go back to, because you guys know I love him, right? He's my babe. We all love him. I've got to go back to Einstein because here's just a few things that my beloved has said, and then we're going to hear what you guys have to say. We're going to jump to the phone lines for a minute, and then we're going to come back and talk about March Ascended numerology. But right up there at the top, the one we all know, right? That no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. However, my absolute favorite Einstein quotes are the two on either side of that. Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. Now, just breathe that in. Now, match the frequency of the reality you want. That is not victim consciousness. That is conscious commanding of alchemical practice, right? Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. That has so many different names. But the key is that when you can consciously command the harmonic frequency of that which you are, you create it. And it can be no other way. And that is not philosophy. It is physics. And by the way, concerning matter, just if we were talking about it straight, just in case, right? Concerning matter.
We have been all wrong.
All right, so let's just take that in, right? So concerning matter, we've just had it all wrong. Let's just start there.
What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter.
Hence, see the other side, and everything is energy. Don't you love the circle there? And then I have to get it in, guys. I'm just going to say it. I won't say anything about it, but I do like that Einstein said it best. Vegetarian food leaves a deep impression on our nature. If the whole world adopts vegetarianism, it can change the destiny of humankind.
Indeed.
Indeed. And this takes us to, until we stop killing animals, we will never stop killing each other. And this takes us back to the level of consciousness that created the problem, takes us to the matter issue, the energy issue. What your alchemical process does, and I'm going to stand up again for those of you, and I think Shri and I should probably be putting up more before and after photos, but today I'm a size 4'6", and how many years ago? 18 months ago, I was 14, 16. And all of that had to do with the conscious acceptance of this, of the mastery presence of I am. My beloved husband and his transformation. Our sacred union saying, if this is not the time, when?
If not now,
right?
when?
If not now, when? Reverse aging is real. And you can shift any part of your life. All you have to do is have the steadfast commitment, the focused awareness, and the complete trust. At 60 years old, I run circles around most of the 30-year-olds here. And what's important to know is that it is our divine inspiration in this moment that we are in right now. There it is, right? As this cross, you see over here, you see how all this energy, you see how this cross energy is really spinning? It's like the entire thing went shoom. And we have gone into another up level. So let's hear from you. What kind of up level are you guys in? What's going on in your life? How can we serve you? Shri, let's jump over to the phone lines. And hey, I see somebody holding that tried to call in Tuesday night that I promised we would get today.
All right.
All right. Hey, there we are. I'm pretty sure this is Gary.
All right. We're going to Illinois.
We're going to Illinois. Gary, is that you?
Namaste, Shri and Kara. Much love to you.
Hi, sweetheart. I am so sorry we ran out of time the last time you called in.
Oh, it's all good. All good. I just called, I was just calling then, and I'm calling now just to express my gratitude for you guys saying yes to your union, to this mission, to this family, to me.
Thank you.
I am grateful.
Thank you.
Oh, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Oh, honey. Honey,
I'm expanding and growing, and I know it's from where I'm sitting, and I love it. I'm just grateful, very grateful to you.
Well, thank you for saying yes to you.
Honey, I first want you to feel Shri and I. It's like we're in a group hug.
There we go.
Right? We got you. We're right here, right now, because I really, and I know that everyone listening is having the same experience. What you are sharing with the world right now is so important. And I just want to honor you and say thank you for being the living model of sincerity, of love, and of presence. It is your steadfast commitment and your focused awareness and your complete trust that is the reason we all are. We are all sacred mirrors of each other. And so thank you. Thank you for being there and letting your voice be heard. Thank you for everything you're doing because it matters. And we love you so much, honey. Many blessings.
And thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. I'm going to teach eventually here soon.
Yay! Right on.
I'm going to teach a self-awareness, awareness of self class. I'm going to do it online or something. I'm going to figure it out. Lynn and I have been talking about it. I'm going to go by G-Love. That's going to be my spiritual name.
I love it. Oh, my gosh. Well, hey, let us serve you. Let us support you. Let us know. Send us an email. Let us know how we can help.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. I'm going to get it going here this month, I believe, and I'll be letting you guys know. I wrote down a metaphor. You guys want to hear it?
Sure.
You have time?
You got it. Let's hear it.
Go for it.
It's just quick.
Okay.
All right, cool. It's called the flow, okay? The drop of awareness within the flow of this vast ocean. Separate it is not, a piece of the whole, aware of the drop itself, not of the ocean it is one with. On it flows with the ocean it is one with, but unaware of. It is the ocean, aware of the drop, veiled from the vastness of itself by the skin of the drop that doesn't exist. What a powerful, massive, creative ocean we are, disguised as a drop in the flow. On and on we go. Love, Gary.
Wow, Gary,
So
my hands are moving. Hey, send that to us if you don't mind us. We're starting a new blog site. I would love to post it, and I'll send you details about it. So send that with an email, and let's chat.
All right.
All right, honey.
I love you guys. Namaste.
Right.
We love you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye-bye, sweetheart. All right, Shri, where are we going next?
Well, let's take a look here.
Should we go across the ocean?
We can do that.
All right, let's go to Switzerland.
We're going to go say hi to Switzerland.
We're going across the ocean to Switzerland. Hey, Switzerland, namaste.
Hello. Hi, both of you.
Namaste,
Lovely
beloved.
to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
We can. We can. Welcome, beautiful. How can we serve you?
Well, I love actually what you're saying. It makes all sense about the truth and the fear and everything. And I've been working a lot on releasing my own fear of pain, which I realized is something that came up after all the work I did. And I just wanted perhaps a mini soul reading around how I can do that. I realize now all the pain that has been coming up, especially the physical one, has been linked to the fear of it. And I think when I let go of that fear, the pain will also kind of find its balance. Can I maybe get a bit of insight around that?
Well, thank you so much for asking, because I also know that there's a lot of our listeners right now that are going, oh my gosh, thank you for answering. That's my question, or asking. That's my question too. Do you want to begin, Shri?
Boy, there's multiple levels to this, and you're spot on when you say, as I release the fear, the pain will diminish. That is absolutely true. When we have pain in our bodies, it evokes ancient memories of having had hurt and having felt out of control and uncertain. And most of these subconscious memories are indeed childhood related. But more importantly than that, whenever we have pain, it is the body saying, please be more conscious. The pain is a cry for love and consciousness. And of course, love is the antidote to fear, is it not? Right. Because fear is a belief in a separation, a belief in an uncertainty, whereas love is a peaceful energy that embraces and knits together reality rather than separates experiences. And so the question I would ask you is, can you remember when you were loved? Can you remember when you felt good? And this is a little bit of a rhetorical question, because I trust you can remember more than one incident in your life where you felt good, where you felt loved. I invite you to go back to that memory, hand on heart, breathe in and out of the memory of when everything was just fine, when you felt no fear, you were happy, you were having a good day. Breathe in and out of that and feel the energy of that peace, that trust, and that contentment. And then you breathe that and you say, this is who I am. This is my truth. And you send that energy to whatever body part is hurting or was hurting, and begin to practice claiming the energy of peace, of love, of joy as your truth. And as you practice that, everything will begin to shift.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You know, as you breathe that in, I want you to just feel, I'm feeling really right over your physical heart. It's the whole time Shri was sharing and I was having the honor of connecting with you, it's so interesting because it almost feels, it's not that it's a shadow, but it's not that it's a heavy shield. It's this energy that's just draped over your heart that's really waiting for you to kind of take the drape off and let it go. There's this, it's like a, I don't want to use the word belief system, but it's very much part of it is part of a lateral experience that holds you in that fear. And I do want to talk about the pain, because in your case, you have, I see how your pain mushrooms out from the physical and goes into, and it's, you know, very much about the 5 medicines. And you're in that moment right now where you are being called up. You are, and I'm so grateful you called in and that we got through to you. You are literally exhibiting what so many are right now. You've been touched on the shoulder. It's that moment where that veil that's been sitting there, where the rest of the you is ready to integrate, only you can lift and say, you know what? If not now, when? You know, what am I afraid of? How much longer will I not do because of this? And with you right now is this incredible, they call themselves the team, but then sometimes they call themselves the troop, like the troop, the team. And they're all around you and they're saying, come on. We got you. And it's like you're sitting down going, but I'm really tired. And they're like, we get it, but we've got this. Just come with us. And so you've got a lot of support around you. And you are at that moment where you have been called up. And I honor you for saying yes and for all that you are. And I really thank you for calling in today. Thank you for helping so many find an answer today as well. Many blessings.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you.
Much love to you, dear.
Many blessings, sweetheart. Namaste. You know, Shri, my heart just thinks about, as we were connecting, I'm just hearing so many others calling out in the same way. And this brings us to the March Ascended numerology. It's big, it's intense. I'm just gonna talk about it. We're gonna put it up. And so let's go. Let's talk about the March Ascended numerology. So here we are. Wow. Right? Just look, it's like a highway. I mean, literally, when I was putting this together, it took me a while to be able to really put this together in a way that you could understand it. So I want to go through this very, very slowly. So the first thing you will see is that March itself is the number 7. And on the wheel, on the chart for the month, the way that this energy is going to spiral multidimensionally, which is the wheel on the left, you'll see that it begins at the 7. That is that black box. But then from the 7, because it's 2021, it goes, follow the black arrows. It goes all the way around the clock, going clockwise from the 7, that black box, all the way to the 5. And this is profound because the 7 and the 5 balance each other. It's the 6 that's open. It's like this infusion of energy. So we go from the 7 all the way around to the 5, but then we pop back into the infinite. We're diving in rather than completing the spiral. And when we come back out, it is at the 12 where we dive back out again. You see that? That circle around the 12, not the sun, the circle around the 12. So you see what's happening right now is that it is literally coming out again. And when it comes out again, that infinite, right now, that's where we're hanging until March 12th. So right now, we are all hanging out in the infinite field after coming in at the 7, going around to the 5, jumping back up to the 12, and opening it, knowing that that 6 is still open. And right now, everything's pouring in. It's pouring in through, it's like a balloon being filled with helium. And we're sitting in the middle of the helium all giggling. But when we come out, we are coming out on that 9 on March 12th. So we are once again in that infinite presence. Now, go to the right and look at the body. Look at your body this month. Oh my goodness gracious. This month is all about the only part of your lower chakras that's involved this month is your 6, which is on the equinox, and it's part of the 12 because the 12 is a 6 plus a 6 again. This whole month is crazy, Shri. Oh. It is a bouncing ball of creation. The way I like to describe it is, right now, look up at the top. You see that 8 lotus chakra? That's where you are, and look where you're going to be. Tomorrow, you are going to bounce right back into that 7 vision, which is where we just bounced up to yesterday. So we're only here. It's like you're bouncing up into the lotus, grabbing what you need. We're going to bring it right back into that vision where we're going to jump right back into our truth, where we're going to go back out into the infinite and arrive back at our star consciousness in harmony with the infinite. Creation, 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 and then high heart on the 12th. And immediately the next day, we are going to go down into our creation cycle, and we are going to keep creating. And on the equinox, we're going to double that creation as the 12, as the double 6 again. So guys, I want you to, went to the energy flow. Pay attention to why that energy flow matters. You see that eye in the middle, that moment where we're at right now? That is this shield. Yeah. The shield is saying, look, you're all over the place right now. But if you're awake to it and you are consciously working with it, these are massive quantum leaps in consciousness, because everything that we have done in the up level, I mean, everything that has brought us to this moment now, is because of this cycle. The March equinox 2021 through the March equinox 2022, which will only be determined by the sealing. Remember, amplification is now. We're in amplify, 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 and it's going to seal in September. And what you notice today, February 28, 2021, everything that happens around the planet on this day is going into that seal, but the eye is open. The question is, what is the level of consciousness that is meeting the open eye?
The level of consciousness will indeed determine the quality of your experience and will limit or expand your awareness. One of the things that I was smiling at on the Ascended Numerology is how we're sitting so frequently at that second chakra.
You can't escape it.
And that you're going to get a double dose of that on the equinox.
Yeah,
and it
almost a triple.
And it's one of these things I go, well, wait a minute. That's almost like no surprise at all. Right. What is the equinox?
What is oneness?
And the March equinox, for the most part, is a time of planting seeds. It's a time of working with regeneration and birthing, etc. And so I think it's wonderful that the numerology reminds us of the greater truth.
Yeah.
Of what is going on. And it's also wild to me that as you look at the March Ascended Numerology, we are transiting all the energies.
Everything. And
we're
jumping
all
in and out. Not only are we doing it all in density, we're doing it in, we're like...
touching into the infinite, touching back.
Right. If ever the Ascended Numerology was showing us multidimensional experience in the up level right now, it's right now. And, speaking of that, Shri and I also want to share with you that this is going to be our last live show until the very end of March when we return, which will be the very last Sunday in March when we will return with the April predictions. The reason that we must take a month away from broadcasting to you live every week is because of the importance of what's happening in March. This energy is so important. We take it so seriously that with all of our heart and soul, if you want to catch us live, please, and help us spread the word. Let everyone you know. Join us at the WWAGLOBAL.com festival. Be there. We are dedicating everything that we are to being there. We will be on the air today as we are. We will be hosting Monday Magic. That will not stop. That will continue to happen. So you can always join us live in Monday Magic. And we will be live on Soul Mirrors this Tuesday. However, that will be the last live Soul Mirrors until the same week that we return.
So basically, the next 3 weeks, we're going to be dedicating ourselves to the WWA festival that's coming up at the equinox. And this dedication involves multiple levels. We're going to be working the shield. We're going to be working emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and consciously.
Today when Shri and I walked up to the Temple of Light this morning, it was extraordinary. And to see and witness this archaeological site becoming an archaeological park, becoming a place for people to really feel, knowing that this very next weekend, Alexander and the Cañari will begin the archaeological restoration of the ancient homestead, where the fires will be burning, where all of this is coming together. And so what Shri and I would like to do in this moment is offer you kind of a recap of what's been going on here at TOSA Blue Mountain. There is a lot that has been happening. And in this short film that's coming up, Bria Rose compiled everything to show you what has led to what is now coming forward. And when we come back, we will be diving a lot more into, there is a lot more to say about March as far as the March Ascension, the March energy, and how to harness this alchemical processing. A lot more of your live calls. So get into the queue over at 888-627-6008 or over at Oneness 517-208-1500. We want to hear from you. It is an amplified, intense moment. We are ready. So let's show you what's been going on here.
We'll be right back. Enjoy the film.
Yeah. Carries in his heart the truth of a people that are still here despite all invasion. Because that's what you're witnessing right now. That's why this is a miracle. They came here today because they know what we already know. The time for oneness is here. This is the moment of the greatest healing potentiality we have ever had. That is what WWA Global is. It is healing the heart of humanity through the integration of the divine feminine, because the heart of humanity cannot heal without the acceptance of the divine feminine. It absolutely isn't going to happen. That's why this is just so important, because we are at that moment right now.
And when we bring consciousness to what we're doing, it's not just a ritual, it's an expression of the heart of now. The heart of now. Too many people are living in the past or dreaming about the future, and they forget that if we don't take heart-centered action right now, we don't have a future worth living.
Yeah.
We don't have a world worth enjoying. The heart must come through the body into action, and the heart must be guided by the wisdom of the ancestors and the wisdom of the cosmic guides together. And when we say together we are better, we mean together.
We are better.
We are better.
That's just what it is. This knot and our temple are in direct alignment on the equinox. Direct alignment. And this is the year that revealed itself. We lived here 3 years and didn't know it was here. 3 years. Because it wasn't time. But this is the time.
Debe ser medido.
Como un mapa.
Sí, este es un mapa. Un mapa y signos de comunicación son todos.
Eso.
Todo esto.
Espejos de agua para observación estelar.
Esto es escritura de los antepasados. Sí.
Yeah.
Sí, esta es la escritura, la forma de comunicación que tenía, el lenguaje de los antiguos.
Para ir organizando.
Esto es escritura, pues esto es escritura.
Un plano. Para diseñar.
Posible un plano para
de acuerdo a cambios climáticos, tiempos de diferentes tiempos, la memoria del tiempo. Es como un calendario.
Es calendario posible, ya.
¿Sí ves?
Ajá.
The dados. Acá y su cabeza en esta. And then de volar y sentarse y mira. And then la energía sube
Sí.
su columna. Esta es mi experiencia después cañar. So all space and time intersects.
Across the world, all space and time intersects here. That we are sitting in an intersection, and that this right here, this is more than we even thought it was. It's the throne of this cosmic Isis, who is this beautiful, it's like a red, see, and then I'm seeing so much at once. It's like it's like they're showing me all of the cosmologies and everything's in like pictographs, but then it's like coming together, and I keep seeing the same thing, but they're showing you the cross. And it's like on the shield of Zodkill, that, only they're showing it to me in these colors, and then they're showing me this pinhole in the middle of it. And when I trace the pinhole, when I try to stay there, then the cross starts becoming like it flashes, and it becomes every color, but always with this gold emanation.
Esa piedra no es común acá en vez en altura, ¿no?
Yeah, no, and it's interesante porque the otra has unas estrellas. Es muchas. It's differente. It's like it was, como se melted.
Porque hay una en el río, donde estábamos para la parte de atrás, hay unas rocas así, pero son meteoritos.
Meteorites. Meteoritos de espacio.
Ajá. Pero eso es una diferente energía, porque tienes energía cósmica. Now, we're at an emergence of an energy of union. And this is beyond eagle and condor, but yes, it's been prophesized. This is cosmic union as well.
I keep using the mantra of self-ascension because it just is what keeps igniting us deeper. What this statue is showing us is the absolute confirmation of oneness.
Yo he tocado ahora en este tiempo ser el custodio, porque aquí anteriormente ha estado 8, vuelta 8, y va pasando de generación en generación.
Ah, sí, okay, sí. Yeah, so they took it. So cada persona 1 hora, 2 horas.
1 hora, 2 horas, dependiendo.
Wow,
de
excelente, excelente.
Escucharle primero.
So, ya sí.
Y mientras me dobla, entonces ya voy viendo qué plantas tengo que ir de abajo.
Sí.
De abajo es el altar ya ceremonial. Entonces yo ya me va dando lo que va diciendo, y entonces ya voy viendo qué tengo que preparar, qué botella debo usar, voy y traigo ya. Salkemuni, el Guru Rinpoche es uno de mis impulsores.
You see the crystal on this is
Las que
Banley
he
Hall.
subido.
Yeah, so he has copies of all the ancient books. There's a reason we met.
Yeah.
Las amistades de construir
This is a deeper connection than I thought. This is the divine feminine that is saying, look, if we just say yes to who we are, then we can stop with all of this tug of war over masculine, feminine, power, whatever, and just start being.
Think about every aha moment in your life, every evolutionary thing in your life came about
Fun, right?
because you broke through a limitation.
And you
Because
allowed yourself to know it.
Yeah, you trusted something.
Yeah.
You know, how many times we are at the threshold of, oh, I'm so scared, I don't know if I can do this. And then you do it, however you call in the courage and the momentum, you do it. And you look back and you go, oh, that wasn't that hard. You know, that chasm wasn't that big. I could have just leapt over it.
Right?
But I was in the space of the unknown, and I just was anticipating that it would be really tough. And we make it so big, showing us.
And now this temple is opening at a moment for the planet that matters. This equinox is not just a singular, it's not a singularity. It's a call to consciousness for all of us that are awake to come together outside of all of our ego just because it's the right thing to do. And when we come together to share and celebrate that enough of us have remembered who we are, living nakedly, authentically, feeling everything about ourselves that we know supports our consciousness, and standing together as one, so that that voice of the Kundalini stabilization can resonate throughout the Andes. That's why Sri and I were called here 3 years ago. We are all here because this Kundalini, the ascended Kundalini, is rising in a way it has never risen before. And it is taking us to places of consciousness we have not collectively attained before. And this is our moment to say yes.
We say yes.
All right. It is our moment to say yes. And welcome back, beloved ones. Bria Rose, thank you.
Thanks for the compilation. Yeah.
That was really extraordinary. And I know that all of you are feeling the energy. I also really enjoyed seeing all of you at the end there as we're starting to put together just a few.
People holding the shields
we're
and
getting
celebrating.
So many. Send us yours too. Let's get it out there. And I really enjoyed. How did that feel for you, right? I know I really felt that just now, didn't you?
Truly, and I loved the juxtaposition of this shield energy creates a vortex that allows authenticity to flourish, that allows the truth of your being to have space around to express within. And I loved, Ken over in Thailand is bringing that to some of these ancient temples with those nagas, the protectors of the universe, and joining forces, so to speak. Beautiful photos. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no, we just absolutely love them. Thank you so much. And welcome back to our March 2021. This is the Amplified Moment of Awareness Month moment. We're just going to catch you up if you're just tuning in the second hour. Let's go ahead and show you really quickly, now that we're here in March, the March UPLEVEL calendar. Just to give you a quick recap, here we are in a moment where this equinox coming up on the 20th, and you can see it's going to be a peak UPLEVEL moment, will open an active ascension window through March 2022 equinox. And this energy of amplification, this active presence of the energy of amplification is going to keep going, and it will not seal. Everything that's opening right now is not going to find a sealing energy. In other words, it'll just keep having its experience, but it will finally seal in September at that equinox. And that moment will also then amplify for what will take us through to the next equinox. So a very beautiful moment, and it begins in the energy of awareness with the number 7. So a big, big month.
Absolutely. We are at a dynamic time, and it just kind of tugs at my heart that this is a month of magic as well.
Yes.
That this all of this circulation through all of the potential energies of manifestation. We are going to be touching everything, and we're going to be touching the infinite. We're going to be coming back into the physical. We're going to have the opportunity to be informed, to be expanded, to be validated, to be challenged, to be loved, to create consciously.
Breathe. And
especially as we get to that equinox weekend. When we get to March 20th, there is an opportunity, and I know where we're residing on the planet, that energy of balance comes in at 4:44.
22. 4:22.
4:22, pardon me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
AM. 4:22,
that's right. And what that creates is it just playing with numbers.
Exactly.
There's a couple of 4s there. There's an 8 there.
But there's everything there. It's the blessing is that when we arrive at that perfect balance moment, it's an opportunity for the I, for the I am presence to take in a breath and in one moment send a collective signal that goes outside of the ego that seeks to only care about the self, and really open that window that says, hey, we really are here, and we really are ready, and we really are open. Guide us. We are ready. And there is such a call to consciousness. And again, this is those 5 medicines of the now moment. That is why the shield has come forward, because these 4 medicines are truly held open by that center. And what is the center? It's the medicine of consciousness. And so as Einstein said it, when we allow ourselves to basically coagulate and forget who we are, then our level of consciousness is literally governed by that coagulation. And when we begin to breathe into the truth of that which we are, when we rise above the illusion that makes us feel there is something wrong with us, that maybe we're the ones that are seeing things strangely, pay attention to that. Pay attention to all of the information that seeks to get you to doubt yourself.
Yes.
And yeah, would you show that? I'm so grateful. The five, there it is. All right, so here it is. These are those 5 bodies of the expanded ascended presence. That's what we're in right now. This month right now, today, if you're with us, February 28, we are culminating the choice as we wake up in awareness. And so what are the 5 bodies offering us? Well, in that cross of perfect balance, there is the physical body medicine, the emotional body medicine, the mental body, and the spiritual body medicine. Those 4 medicines need to be in perfect harmony. And the center that holds them together is the consciousness, the medicine of consciousness. And I really want to share it again, Sri, because I think it's such a power-filled quote. Would you read Archangel Zadkiel there?
Absolutely. Let's take a breath and be with this. What if you chose to believe that everything in your world was perfect, as is right now? What if you implicitly trusted your inner guidance system to produce the words and actions needed in any situation you find yourself? What if every moment was guided by the one who truly loved you?
Ooh, so let's take in a deep Ave Sa breath to that and really feel the freedom of that. Because what that's really saying is, what if you trusted yourself enough to do what you know you're ready to do, what you've been wanting to do, what you've been shown you can do, what you've dreamed about doing, what's been placed in front of you again to do? Why don't you just do it and laugh and lift up into the recognition that this is the law of instantaneous manifestation. We have lifted through the limited nature of the law of attraction. This is an expansion of consciousness. And I want you to really breathe that in. Really feel that. Because in the law of attraction, we are practicing. And we can often practice for many, many lifetimes. And many, many, many incredibly beautiful and amazing beings have gotten really good at teaching the basics for 20 years. And then you have others who have been on a journey for 20 years and expanding the basics, and then the basics become the new basics and those basics. And so you're at a moment where you're being invited. Have you got one set of information that you've repeated 20 times that you've become so good at that now that's your mastery? Or are you ready to have 20 times the information? Because that's what Sri and I are offering, is when we give ourselves the gift of not putting boundaries on who that we are, which was how we came together. That was our collective agreement with each other, is that we would give each other permission to be who we are here to be, because we were in such clear knowing of each other. And so that is the moment we are collectively in. Yeah. And let's find a pyramid of spiritual awakening, Sri. This is the March moment. This is what is happening here. This is that top of the pyramid, that moment where consciousness arrives at the very top there, at that moment where we have the ascended consciousness. And I want to show another pyramid of spiritual awakening here because it has what's happening right now. So first you had the left brain. Right. Now we have this one. And in this one, do you see what's happening up here in Ascension Consciousness? Do you see that light? That is it right now. That is that moment of consciousness where we've never been here before. We're all in this multidimensional tunnel together. But that pulse wave ignited, you see how those lights ignited, sustained the field from collapsing. That doesn't need to be a lot, it just needs to be enough. And so when we open that eye and that pulse wave goes out into Ascension Awareness, if you look from Ascension Awareness and you bring your eye down toward the bottom, right there where you see the flare, density consciousness right now has expanded itself. You see, it's become a lifeboat. but the portal is still open. We are at a moment where the awakened ascension consciousness is the moment of March. And we are in awareness. So are you aware of this? Pay attention to who you're meeting, things that are coming back together, the way that they're coming together. Look at the law of instantaneous manifestation. You know, I was on the phone with someone, you know me in time, a couple days ago. And something came up that saddened me. It really did. And it was a sharing that really, Shri and I've just been sitting with it. I've really had to sit with it because it saddened me and I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, other than process that it's been put in front of me, which I have been. But what was so fascinating was to, through this conversation with this being, number one, be reminded again of the bubble that Shri and I live in. Do you know this person? No. Do you know what these people are doing? No. We are so focused on what we are here to do that we truly have been living in this extraordinary bubble, you know. So that was the first thing that came in. And the second thing that came in was the recognition that in the law of instantaneous manifestation, spiritual generosity is how you know it's happening. When you are working, when you are interacting with people, when you come together, there is a big difference between the density experience of fools rush in and the extended experience of the law of instantaneous manifestation. The law of instantaneous manifestation thereby transcends the energy that would have the greed or the manipulation, thereby the instantaneous manifestation emerges because it's happening through our ascended presence. It's when we've said yes, and we are that 0 point field of generation. You are that energy, and your alchemical ability to summon that is right now.
You know, it's sometimes our density mind is so used to having things go its way.
So true.
That we use that as a vehicle to command the light to say, give me more of the same. Even though part of us going, no, I wish things were different. In fact, what we want is predictability. We want more of the same. And on the flip side of it is when we let go of the need to control and instead move into the field of manifestation, you will attract to you the people and the circumstances which will support it.
Exactly.
It just happens.
Exactly. And so I want you guys to really, you know, feel that energy and what's going on right now. And let's feel you. Shri, let's go over the phone lines. Again, if you want to jump in, 888-627-6008 or 517-208-1500.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We have a caller over at BBS Radio on line 2. And we're going to say hi to Barul from New York.
Namaste, sweetheart. Welcome to the show.
Namaste, namaste. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. How can we serve you?
I am very grateful that I'm on your self-ascension mastery program.
Thank you.
And I really, really enjoyed the Avesa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That we went through.
We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Thank you. And I had a question. So when we started the Avesa, I've started noticing that the toe of my left foot has started tingling. And it's a very specific kind of tingling I have never felt before. And it's been happening very frequently. So I just wanted to know what that means.
Okay, I'm going to invite you to take a breath. You were breaking up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure we got most of what's happening. That since Avesa, this experience that you've been happening, and it's been happening quite a bit, and it didn't happen before, and it's on the left side. Is that what I heard?
Yes, the left foot.
The left foot.
Yeah. So, all right. So I first and foremost, I'm just so grateful that you were with us at Avesa and that you're inviting that energy to really expand you. So thank you for that. And as you relax and breathe, I'm going to invite Shri to step in, and then we'll come back in together.
So one of the things that I think people often forget is that your feet are just as powerful as your hands, and in many ways more powerful, because the flow of your authentic energy field goes up the feet, up the spine, and out and circulates around you. That is the torus field, and you are in the center of the torus field. And so the energy going up your feet, sometimes we are unaccustomed to that until we have been in the presence of that energy, that healing energy, and then we go, oh, wait a minute, my foot chakras are opening. So I want you to allow for the fact of the matter is that you're receiving an energetic up level, that things are circulating in a new way for you. Yeah. The other piece that is metaphorical, the way the body is wired, is that your left side is the side of the future. And so consider for a moment that if you are experiencing a congestion or a discomfort on the left side, it's a call to consciousness. Is there a habit of not being open to growth or the future? Is there a fear of the future? Is there something that needs to be released so that you can easily move forward in the new way that your soul is calling you to move forward? So these are the kinds of questions I ask to help you just tune in and reflect. Is there something that I'm afraid of that would keep me from embracing the unknown, which is soon to be my manifest reality? Hang out with that a little bit. Write about it.
Ooh, so yeah, let's breathe that one in. And as you shared that, Shri, what I was experiencing was right again, fifth chakra. That very much right now, the feet, my heart, and especially since we just finished Ave Sa and you've been part of that extraordinary journey, remember that as I demonstrated yesterday when you were there, the anointing that I was showing you on the feet that I do with the Cura oil, I encourage you to hold your feet. And I mean, just lovingly hold your feet, and also to make a foot bath. Mm-hmm. And when you make your foot bath, I want you to make the foot bath beautiful. Put in petals of a flower. Put in an essential oil. Add some salts. And when you bring your feet into that water, I want you to relax your eyes, make sure you're very comfortable in a very comfortable chair. And I want you to invite your divine presence to slip into those feet and to feel the hands of the divine holding your feet and cradling your feet and welcoming you to release everything that has ever caused you pain, everything that has ever caused you to doubt, anything that has ever caused you to stop. And what they're saying as they're holding your feet is that you are receiving the slippers of the one who is ready to move forward. And to do that, you must release that which you are still holding. And it's just stuck. And so there might be some tears there. And, remember that our tears are always simultaneously the joy of the dream fulfilled and the knowing of the life that is now being closed as the new one opens. And so it is, my love. I'm so glad you called. Many blessings.
That was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you both.
Oh, we love you, sweetheart.
Much love to
Thank you. Namaste. Whew. And Shri, I just want to share that once again, I love this family. You all are just really family to us. And every Sunday, when we have the blessing of this community moment where you all of us are reflecting each other, I could feel so many of you as we were just with this one beautiful being right now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, tell you what, let's run over to Oneness Talk Radio.
All right.
And, oops, I got to get...
we have a mouse for each computer. Sorry. There we are. Well, you want to go up to British Columbia. So we were in Switzerland. We've been all over. We're doing kind of like a 4 points around the globe. Let's go back to Canada now. All right. Hey, British Columbia. Namaste.
Hello there.
Oh, namaste.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Well, we're traveling the world with you today. Thank you for bringing us to you.
I'm so happy to be with you again. anyway, I'm very excited about this new period that we're entering, and I just wanted to say that I feel like I'm like growing every day, and I feel like there's like this up level or something. I can't even explain it, but it feels good. It feels like I'm just ascending, towards love,
Yes.
Like I just want to get to a point where I just feel love, like compassion, I guess,
Beautiful.
And so I'm working on it. and well, you don't, I don't know, I guess it's something you have to work at. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank
So
you.
much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
hopefully I'll see you someday. I am planning to go to Nicaragua.
Oh,
So, I mean, that's not too far away.
no, it's
So,
not.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that, and thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Well, we love you, sweetheart. And yeah, get to Nicaragua and then for sure find your way to Ecuador. I know that moment will happen. And until then, I want you to just feel this moment of universal awareness around you. What a beautiful month ahead for you. Yeah. Thank you for bringing your presence to us today.
Thank
we
you for
love
your
you
love.
so much, honey. Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste. Wow. Do you feel that? See, that's that ignition. When each time we're connecting, I'm feeling this experience of very profound spiral energy. Remember, we're in the middle of this harmonic pulse wave, this infinite spiral that is just growing and getting larger and larger. That is why this energy is so amplified. I just can't stress it enough. So remember that the all is already pretty robust right now. Let's look at a few of the little tick marks, right? So tick mark number 1, if we can just kind of come here, right? So tick mark number 1, we have arrived at a place in consciousness we have not arrived at before, which is why tick mark number 2 is there, that you have been tapped on the shoulder. Mm-hmm. You're already a master. I want you to, hand to heart, I am a master. I am a master.
I am.
Really breathe in and know that within that mastery is when the ego drops. If by claiming that the ego inflates, then you are claiming it within most likely a 4th dimensional spiritualized activism, entry, ascension awareness experience. And that's awesome as long as you can see it. And then dive through the ocean of that. And that happens through what our caller just shared, which is when we're really holding that love, when we're really holding that compassion for the self that sustains us in that witnessing experience, that sustains us in that moment. Do we have that graphic, Shri, the witnessing graphic? I think we do.
We might have that.
That sustains us in that energy that we have now been, I guess the word would be practicing and diving with for several years now. And if you gaze at this graphic, what you're seeing here is, if you can make it out down near the bottom where it says 3rd, you'll notice there's this beautiful angelic creature that lives within this pyramid. And you see how that pyramid is moving up to the 5th? And in the 5th, you become the witnesser of the 3rd dimensional witness. When we are invited to be in the now, which is a phenomenal practice, that now moment is in the 3rd dimension, you become aware of what you're doing. It is that moment where you are able to wake up and then begin to literally spread your wings and love yourself enough that you can lift up to the top, break through that top of the pyramid, which is where we are right now. This is where humanity is collectively right now. This has been open for a while, but collectively right now. And then you see there's that beautiful kind of like bubble of creation that's being created in the seventh dimension in that witnessing realm. That's the moment at hand where look at the largest presence there. It is that seventh dimensional energy, and it is calling in all of the rest of the energies that will meet with that pyramid, forming this perfect cocoon of creation. And those that wish to be in the third dimension will be in their own little experience within this greater creation. So where do you want to be as this sphere is recollecting itself? Because in the presence of the expansion, of being the witnesser, witnessing the witness again, which brings us to the ninth dimension, we have an opportunity right now to slow down, listen to what I just said a lot, get beyond any judgment of what I just said, and really pay attention to it. Journey with it. Journey with that photograph. Pay attention to what it is, because as we release the greater judgment of the self, the greater we are able to smile. It's the ultimate smile, is to see the giggle of everything we're doing together right now with the full conscious awareness of the smile. What a great way to live your life. That's the yoga of self-ascension. That's that mastery.
You know, the smile is one of those things that will either radiate that which you're feeling or cause you to remember the truth of the radiation.
Wow.
So consider for a moment when we take a breath and we end it with a smile. At that very moment, we are choosing to align with the ascended countenance.
Yeah.
We are choosing to say all is well. We are choosing to be in that moment of peaceful presence,
yeah,
rather than reactive disturbance. And the world is filled with reactivity because that's what will keep fear alive. Mm-hmm. And so there's this symbiotic relationship where the ego identity has adopted fear as a norm. It has accepted fear as, this is normal. Be afraid. Be in anxiety. And that we grow through that lens. The lens is there. It's real. It's valid. I'm not arguing with it. Your emotions are valid. You are valid. You are having an experience. However, as we move through to a new vibrational state, as Einstein pointed out, solutions are not found at the same level that generated the issue, the problem. So as we lift through, all of a sudden the context, the way we look at things shifts. The way we are with things shifts. And that is how we evolve without doing battle with the ego. You know, years ago, I think many of you have been in this situation where you said, I really want to evolve. I'm going to go to an ashram, or I remember doing the 10-day silent retreat or the Vipassana retreat.
And all great stuff.
And I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I loved it, absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. And hung out at an ashram for a few months and got into that way of being. Now, here's what I experienced. You can see how this fits for you. While I was in that environment, I had a good time. I had multiple benefits, and I'm not going to describe them. There were just benefits that happened. But the moment I left the environment and went back into my, quote, normal life, most of the gains evaporated.
So really breathe that in. That's really the nugget.
Mm-hmm. Most of what I thought I had achieved became ephemeral. It was just a memory because I put on the operating system of that, quote, accepted identity, that normal. And I know there are authors that have written about how it's our ability to be aligned with our spiritual nature while living life not separated from life, while walking among. Our ability to align with our spiritual authenticity while walking among that defines the master. The ashram and the rest of it helps us remember states of being, but the applied spirituality is bringing that into every moment throughout your life. And so this indeed is the journey. Your entire life is your spiritual path. And do you wish to evolve each and every moment, each and every year, or do you wish to repeat that which you learned before and hang out in the comfort of that? Both choices are valid. However, the lens of the ego, and this is the other reason I brought this whole thing up, in the ashrams that I was in, the ego needed to succumb. And I chose that word deliberately. The ego needed to succumb, to surrender, to be beaten down. You know, from one experience I had was being whacked with the stick of the Zen teacher. You know, whack him. You know, it's like, oh, okay. And then there were the experiences of fasting and meditating in horribly uncomfortable poses and in horribly uncomfortable places. And of course, there was a wisdom in that. However, the ego does not have to succumb. What has to happen, what I have learned, what Kira and I embody, is that in the unconditional love of your authentic soul, the ego will relax automatically. The ego will surrender to the love of the soul. And then it won't interfere with your ascending vibrational state. You will lift, 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 and the ego will be amazed and cooperative and will only rear its head for moments, you know, just reactive moments. Meaning, it's like the child that you're taking on a tour across the universe. And little by little, year after year, the child is just really just happy to be versus trying to control anything.
I love that.
And so this is the journey that we invite you to consider is possibly the most easy way to lift into enlightenment. The most easy way is to not do battle with anything, to love it all into harmony.
Now, as you breathe loving it all into harmony, and this certainly is a representation of that right here, the other piece to breathe into that is that through that recognition, through that breath, there is the awareness of the active presence of your mastery through the recognition. This is often the funnel where many get really trapped and just can't get out of, and then go, you know what? If I can't get out, I'll just kind of ease into hanging out here and just feed me, right? Just feed me. I'll just hang out here. And it becomes so inertified that the inertia overrides all of the other experiences. And so in order to really stay outside of the inertia, in order to stay outside of being kind of trapped in the funnel of that expansiveness, is really about saying, okay, have I been learning the basics over and over again? Or have I invited myself to expand through that? Think about when you first start going to any form of education, whatever it is. You first learn that this is a flower. Then you learn the name of the colors. Then you might learn how to count it, the petals and the little inner parts. Then you might learn the geometry of it. You're expanding. And with each moment that you expand, you have a greater appreciation of the complexity and the beauty and yet the overall simplicity of the flower. You're the flower. You're the flower. And we are at the moment where we are all flowering together. What a brilliant bouquet we are. And to remember that which you are is to continually expand through what the perception is trying to create as your reality. The only way to expand through that is to expand through what we often call that borderland of sanity, Some of the things that Shri and I share challenge our borderland of sanity, yet we still share it. You know, when we first came together, if you've read our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, when we first came together, our every ounce of the borderlands of sanity was challenged to the max. And you know, my husband's a psychotherapist, and thank God, although he was trying to diagnose me at first, right? Because everything was challenged for all of us.
Well, and what happens is that we begin to discover the extent to which we rely on conventions
exactly
to feel safe. We rely on, and they're so unconscious for the most part, we rely on conventions, and we keep comparing our expanded experiences, these moments of being in the void, the expansion, the moments where the lines get blurred and things are different. We try to compare that to the context of what was.
Oh, there it is.
And we try to make it conform. We try to deny the fact that expansion is a new context that we are not yet familiar with. And it takes trust to gain in familiarity. It takes trust to realize that I can still function at a high level in the world I was used to without, quote, believing in that world. You know, I'm using that as an example. It's a little bit like in The Matrix, that Neo moment where he's in the car and he's seeing all of the conventional world and he's going, wow, I used to have noodles there. You know, it was that moment of ascended detachment, recognizing that everything is playing out predictably in this world, the predictable fears, the predictable joys, etc., and that you can insert and act, but you do not have to dissolve in it. To dissolve in it is to say, I refuse to be fully conscious. I would rather be in the action-reaction moment of the immersion and have that for my experience.
And that's a conscious choice, whether you're aware of that or not. The key is to be aware of it. That's what we've been talking about since the show opened today, which is in this moment of March that we are in right now, in this month of awareness, and especially in this moment as we're all up here in our lotus chakra, getting ready to wind up to go on a journey like this, that over the next 24 hours is going to have us all hanging back out in the infinite space after bouncing all over. This is that moment of amplification. It feels like that, like you're bouncing all over, like it's not a straight line. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. The greater the gift of the release of linearity, the greater the vision.
The release of linearity is the embrace of the infinite, which is the embrace of divine wisdom. You know, how many times have you had a truly enraptured experience and you can't find the words? Well, linearity would say, forget that experience. Give me just this much of it because that's all we can find a word for. And it is important to remember that you are so much more and that nothing is ever lost.
Nothing.
You can be in your ascended consciousness and also be driving the car on the freeway to the old job, whatever, and you can function well in that car, you can function well at your job, and you will have a greater context for your life that will bring you great peace and acceptance and love because you're looking at the greater canvas and enjoying what's being drawn on it.
So breathe that in, because everything Shri is sharing is how we live. And I'm hearing all of you. I'm hearing a lot of you saying, yeah, how do you do that? You know, are you guys on drugs? You know, whatever. The answer is no, we're not. What we are is absolutely a 20-year journey and going strong that has had steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust that the journey that we have been on would bring us to this moment now. We are collectively moving through multiple parallels at the same time. And if the mind of density tries to comprehend it to the degree that someone could spin that mind and keep it spinning, that's where insanity lies. That's where Einstein's right, doing the same thing over and expecting different results, the definition of insanity. That's what that's doing. Every time you question, you keep questioning, you have a moment of incredible breakthrough, and then you stop yourself. Those are those moments of insanity. Those are the moments that are doing everything they can to self-preserve, because in order to have those moments means that we have had to really compact our field of energy down as small as we can, thereby knowing that at some point we are going to go so far into the compaction that we will forget that which we even are. And also knowing ahead of time that in the infinity of creation, we have already created the way that we are able to find our way through that. And that is the gift. This pulse wave, this moment of masters coming together again in the law of instantaneous manifestation, even the presence of the law of instantaneous manifestation, is an affirmation in and of itself of the expansion of consciousness. And so, can you say yes to you? Everything Shri just shared doesn't work if you don't give yourself permission to remember that this is who you are. That if you have the energy or the fascination of the Atlantean experience, then in the Atlantean experience, what is happening right now is that you have the exact capacities that you had then with greater consciousness. What you are still lacking is giving yourself permission to remember the fullness of it, because of whatever self-imposed limitation is still saying no, is still resisting. And only you can walk through that tunnel.
Yeah, it's important to remember that technology does not define advancement. Consciousness evolves without technology. And that technology is a tool of the intellect, and sometimes is a tool of distraction. That, let's just say that with great power, we prefer great consciousness.
Indeed. And so, speaking of great consciousness, we have so many people holding. Let's see, Shri, let's scroll more on the board. We have more people holding. Let's see. All right. So where are we going, my love?
Well, I'll tell you what. We can head over to
Pueblo, Colorado. Is that where
Colorado,
we're going?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Pueblo, Colorado. Namaste. Welcome. If you live...
Namaste, beloved Shri and Kira.
Hey, hi, dear.
Namaste.
Oh, I wanted to tell you a shield story.
Ooh.
So when you first put the shield out, I just was I just loved it. And I put it on my desktop, background, and, before you even put it out for us to download into print. And then when Kenla came on, that just also really inspired me. And I started printing things, and I wanted to get it up on my wall in my office, and I didn't quite before this event happened. I was invited to do a little local video for community advertising for my business.
Nice.
And the very next day, I got it up on the walls of my office, which was just this past Wednesday. I also, in the last week and a half since putting it on my desktop, walked through a couple of things that got put right square in my face, walked through those. Wednesday, I put it up. Thursday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I was really inspired to talk with a friend. She owns a metaphysical bookstore, and we've talked about doing things together for a very long time. And then, of course, COVID kind of interfered with that. But I met with her. I'm going to be doing some Avesa balancings and cosmic prime meridian openings. The 13th, which I did not realize that was the new moon illumination at all.
I love it.
Until today.
Yeah, right on.
And also to bring the shields there. So I'm in the process of, and then on the back, an invitation to meditate with it. And then I will help, whoever comes on my table, we're going to do that together on the 13th. And then I'm putting those at my office too. So really it's just come around. And I also put it together with the prayer from Monday Magic. And I've been saying that every day. And just so many things have happened in the last week and a half, and just like boom, 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 boom. And also I just wondered if I could have a mini soul reading. My birthday is March 8th, so coming up.
Wow. Happy birthday to you. Shri, did you want to share first?
Well, no, I was just dancing with the funness of every time we have a birthday, it's better than New Year's Eve, because it's an opportunity to make it a celebration for yourself. Yeah. To say, hey, look at me, I've gone another year, and to be able to affirm the joy of being alive. And we celebrate you, and we offer you that. And by way of a little more feedback, if you will, when I connect with your energy, I just want to affirm that I'm feeling the positiveness, that you are acting with the courage of one who loves herself more deeply than before, and that the love you have and the trust in the universe is amplifying your healing skills, it's amplifying your confidence, your willingness to get out there, to share, to spread the light, and to be that which you are meant to be. And so if I were to offer you anything, it would be, I love you, just keep going. You got this.
And that is exactly, literally the whole time you were sharing, Donna, all I kept hearing Zodkill was, remind her of Monday, just keep going. And then my beloved just said it. That's Zodkill. It's like, just keep going. Don't stop what you've started. Stay in this flow. You are in a new flow, and it supports you. You are the law of instantaneous manifestation. Oh, my God. Thank you, honey.
Thank you so much. I love you both so much. And yes, thank you also for bringing Navesa and the up level. That's been fabulous, too. So can't wait for March, and hopefully we'll get tons of people to join.
We are. It is done.
Thank
you,
so.
Sweetheart.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
Well, that's fun. The shield and this latest version of the shield that's behind us right now as the backdrop for today. Let's gaze at that again for a moment. When we allow ourselves to recognize that there is an energy that spins the molecules of our experience. The molecules are energy. The space between experiences is energy. And that energy does have a structural component. And when we gaze at this shield of Zodkill and this iteration of it, it is an opportunity to relax our need to do anything other than be with the freedom and the love that comes from this sacred geometry. Breathe it in.
The alchemical process. I'm loving how it's really feeling to me like the Eye of Shiva. When this happened today, it was like this ascended Eye of Shiva energy came in, this really moment that just says, at some point, what is the consciousness? And I was sharing this with Sri earlier today, that as our consciousness is expanding, each one of us has that focus that guides our consciousness to the moment where we pop through into the infinite remembrance. March is that opportunity. And right now, today, in this moment, everything that's happening is going into that first infinite spiral that has opened this torus of 0-point ignition. Shri and I are going to be in that field of creation this entire month. We will be together again this Tuesday night at Soul Mirrors. You will see us at Monday Magic all month long. However, we will not be back live until, I believe it is March 28th. Let me give you that date exactly. And that's when we will return. No, excuse me. We will be returning on March 28. There it is. Palm Sunday. I am excited about that.
So, beloved ones, as we come to a close, please go visit WWAGLOBAL.com.
That's where you can get us live this month.
That's right. And join us. We're going to be broadcasting all throughout the Equinox weekend. There'll be many different segments, lots of fun. Please trust that you're meant to be there and join us. And until we see you there, breathe in deeply right now and know that all is truly well. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com.